Hello and welcome to my training Zoom room. My name is Pandora and I want to show you a little bit about pivot tables today, specifically how to change the way we're summarizing it and how to pull data out. So I've got my large data set here from my sales data, and I'm going to come to sheet 2 where I have built a blank pivot table. I'm going to set this up to be quarters and items by size and color with the sum of the numbers sold. So quarters and items by size and color with the sum of the numbers sold. What if I had wanted the average of the numbers sold? Well, if I come down here where it says sum of numbers sold, I can click on the drop-down list and it gives me a bunch of choices on how to move it around, as well as the option to change the field settings. I'm going to come into the value field settings. And from here where it says custom name, sum of numbers sold, I could rename it if I wanted to. But as soon as I choose average, it becomes average of numbers sold, which is beautiful. And when I click OK, oh, that's awful. It's right, though. What's happened? I've just, the numbers have gone all funny without the repetitive decimals. Now, again, I could go to my home tab and change my format. But as we move things around, all we're formatting here is the cells. I want to format the tables so that as I add and remove fields to this pivot table, that the numbers will always stay formatted. So instead of formatting the worksheet, we're going to format the table. Come back into the values where it says average of numbers sold and come down to the value field settings. And in this window, in the bottom left-hand corner, is my number format. If I click on this, I see all of these beautiful options. And what do I want? I want a number, and I'm going to leave out all the decimal places. These are all small. I don't need to worry about a comma. I'm going to click OK. If I wanted to, this is my chance to rename it, but I'm going to click OK. Right, that name is showing up here in cell A4, and this is it, beautiful. So for each quarter, each size, each color, I'm seeing the sum of the numbers sold before, and now I'm seeing the average of the numbers sold. Cool. I'm going to turn off that little checkbox for numbers sold, or you can drag it out, or even tell it to delete, remove field, so that I have nothing in the middle again. Let's do it again, bringing in the numbers sold. Oh. So I forgot about the average, right? It's always going to start with the sum. When we put a number in there, it's always going to try to sum, which I'm okay with. I want you to find that number 82 in cell E7. Do you see it? So here, this 82 in cell E7 is what? If I hover over it, right, this is the sum of the numbers sold for my first quarter large items. So this is that total pulling together first quarter large items is 82. I would like you to double click. So when I double click, it made a new worksheet. Do you see that? I'm now on sheet 3. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is all of the large first quarter items. And if I select this column, I can see down in my status bar that there's a sum of 82. So this is where that 82 came from. Isn't that amazing? Okay, let's come back to sheet. Let's stay here for a moment. I want you to see my first quarter blouses, large blue, we sold 14. Okay, so 14 large blue blouses first quarter. Here in sheet 2, I see the same thing. First quarter blouses, large blue, we sold 14. I come back to my original data. First quarter blouses, large blue, we sold 14. Good. I want to transpose that and make it 41. Okay. Let's go back and look at the pivot table. Oh no, it's still 14 here. So let me type it in, 41. Yeah, you can't change that part of the pivot table. Microsoft Excel is real protective of the numbers, which is a good thing, okay? Let me click OK. I can change the titles. If I want to change this to be shirts, notice it changed it all the way down, shirts, shirts, shirts. But if I want to change a number, you can't. The numbers are pulling from the data set. Now, I changed it in the data set. How come it didn't change it here? Because that's how math works in Excel, right? We change our numbers and it carries through. What happens is Microsoft Excel takes a picture of the data as soon as you make the pivot table. And it just keeps referring to that as you manipulate your data. This is a good thing because think about how much memory it would take to do all of this math. Right? And so I could reproduce this with a sum if or a count if. That's not what I want. I want it to be able to set this up. So instead of every time I make a change, having it redo all the math every single time, it waits until we're ready. And we have to tell it to refresh the data. So on the Analyze tab, look for the refresh, or on your right click, and we can tell it to refresh or refresh all, since there's only one table. And when I do, that 14 should become 41. Cool. Now this one that I pulled out earlier, right, because I pulled it out earlier, it was still called shirts, right? And this, I can type in anything, right? That's actually not linked to anything at all. So this, once I've pulled out the data, I usually delete the worksheet because I don't want to confuse myself. But if somebody asked me for the large quarter total data, I could come here and double click on my answer, and now it's 109, and it would pull that data out for me. Notice it did go back to blouses because that's what the original data is. Here in my pivot table, I'm going to take out the colors and the items. So I'm looking at my quarters by size. Right, that's it. So I've just got a simple pivot table, quarters by size. If you get a pivot table and you can't find the data, either it wasn't sent to you or the data is in a different workbook that you left on your desktop, so you can't get to it from home, whatever reason, if you have a pivot table and you cannot find the original data, double click on the grand total. Now I've only got quarters and sizes here, but when I double click, it's going to reproduce the entire picture of where that data comes from. And I will see all of it come back out. Pretty cool.